Hi guys, this is Sir Janelle and welcome to our English class for second quarter, and we will use the LRMDS quarter number 2, module number 1, and our topic, explaining visual verbal relationships illustrated in the tables, graphs, and information map found in the expository texts. So we will talk about what is an expository text first before we move on how we can explain them through tables, graphs, and information. So at the end of the discussion, we'll identify different types of tables, graphs, and charts. We will determine what expository text is and organize information in tables, graphs, and maps. So here's our topic. What is an expository text in the first place? Well, to define it, it's a type of informational text that provides factual information that may be used in exposing the truth through reliable source of information by using a clear, non-narrative organizational structure with a major topic and supporting information. So, what are our keywords here? Expository text must be based on facts. It exposes the truth. So for it to be based on facts, our sources must be reliable. It must also be clear. It includes topics such as historical, scientific, or economic information. And our examples may include textbooks, reports, articles, interviews, and essays. So here's a chart explaining what is an expository text. So the purpose is mentioned to provide facts, to expose things. The language must be clear, concise, organized, and focused to the subject. And the format is in paragraphs. So an expository text is written in paragraph form. And there are three main parts of it: introductory paragraph, the body, and the concluding paragraph. From the word itself, an introductory paragraph introduces the main idea. The body provides details in support of the topic, while the concluding paragraph restates the main idea and ties together the major points of the text. So those are the different parts of an expository text structure. Now, here are different types of expository text structure. Cause and effect. The word itself mentions the cause and what's the effect. It is also mentioned in the expository text. Like this example, burning fossil fuels, that's the cause. And we can see in the middle of this paragraph, as a result, many people can suffer from the risk of heart attack, and so on. So there's a cause, there's an effect. That's one type of expository text structure. Another one is what we call comparison and contrast. When we compare, we mention or we talk about the similarities of two things: ideas, events, concepts, or theories. But when we contrast, we talk about the differences. So the example here talks about baby bats can fly. Sometimes mother bats carry them when they go out. Then later on, it talks about baby birds. So two things or two ideas or concepts being compared here. Two different animals, baby bats and baby birds. So in this paragraph, there are similarities between the two, and also the differences were mentioned. Another type of expository text structure is what we call description, and it describes a particular thing, idea, event, concept. How? By listing characteristics, features, attributes, and examples. And in this example paragraph, we see that beach is being described here. It's a perfect place for everyone who wants to come and relax. So this is description. Another type of expository text, problem and solution. There's a problem mentioned, students do not like reading, and later on in the paragraph, parents and teachers should encourage them, as well as using context clues that or those are your solutions mentioned in this expository text. Sequence is another type where items or events are listed in numerical or chronological sequence, either explicitly or implied. So here's an example of an expository text sequence type, whereas we were taught how to write an expository essay. So one by one, it was mentioned step by step. You can see here some transition signals or transitional words that helps in the sequence of ideas inside this expository text. Those are the different types of expository text structure. Now let's talk about the different ways how to present them. Well, we can use tables as well as graphs, charts, and maps. And we will discuss them one by one. A table is used in organizing information and numerical data that are arranged in columns and rows. Just like this example here, study time versus grades. So columns, the names of the students were arranged alphabetically, and then across their names, we see their study time. It's very easy to look for the information as well as the result of their study time, the grades that they acquire because of their study time. And we learn from this table that the more study time you have, the higher your grade will be. So that is how we use and how we look at the data, numerical data, in a table. Another one is graph. Graph is used to represent data or values in an organized manner using pictorial representation or a diagram, and we have different types of graphs such as picture graph, bar graphs, block graphs, circular or pie graphs, and line graphs. Picture graph or pictograph from the word itself presents ideas or concepts using pictures. Number of English books read in 1 week, whereas one picture of a book stands for 3 books. Who has the highest number? Well, we see in this pictograph that it is Jericho, followed by Jamie. But how many books did Jericho read in a week? Now, if we count the pictures of books across Jericho's name, we have 6, and we have to multiply it by 3 because one picture of a book stands for 3 books. So 3 multiplied by 6 is 18. We had a little math there. So that is how we use a picture graph. Another type of graph is a bar graph, which presents data, numbers, or quantities using bars. So favorite pets, most favorite pet, dog with 100, rabbit with a scale of 60 is the lowest. So that's how easy to look at a bar graph. Followed by this one, a circular or pie graph presents relative sizes or data or information using pie slices. How students spend their time? It says 30% in schooling, 20% in recreation and sleeping. Is it true? Dear students, eating 15% and homework 15%. Line graph uses lines like this one. Patrick's savings from January to September. We also see the amount of his savings, and we've noticed that it skyrocketed during the month of August to September. So it's more than 1,000 pesos already for his savings. And it started January with the amount of 200. And finally, another type of graph or diagram is what we call Venn diagram. This is used to compare and contrast 2 or more objects, concepts, or people. It presents information using 2 circles, overlapping circles, to show the relationships among things or finite groups of things. Like this one. This is how a Venn diagram looks like. Two overlapping circles. What do we write on the sides? We write their differences. We contrast two different things. And in the middle, what do we write? The similarities. We compare the two things that we are comparing and contrast. Again, on the sides, we write the differences. In the middle, we write their similarity. In your activity, you'll have something like this. You will make your own Venn diagram, differentiating and comparing two things. Chart number 3. Just like what we saw at the outset of this discussion, the chart about expository text, it is used to present functions or some kinds of quality structure and clearly provides different information. It is also a graphical representation of data or information using symbols. A map is used in visual representation or organization of data or information. And here are different types of maps. Concept map. Main concept is in the middle, while the supporting details or ideas surround it. Another type of map is what we call a process map, which presents the flow of a process. We usually use this in science, okay, like the life cycle of a butterfly or a frog. So this is a process map. So that ends our first module for quarter number 2, first lesson in quarter number 2. We will now talk about our second module, second lesson, and that is explaining verbal visual relationships illustrated in tables, graphs, and information maps found in an expository text. So what's the difference? This is more of the application of what we learned in module number 1. Because it talks about how to choose the important details and using graphic organizers. We talked about some of this already, about the different graphic organizers that we can use, such as Venn diagram. We also would like to know about cause-effect diagram. The main purpose is to show the root cause of a problem and its possible effects or outcome. We'd also like to know about flowchart. It shows the sequential order of a process, and outlining. So an outline is an organizational tool used to present written ideas about a topic into a logical order. Outlines can be arranged as main ideas, subtopics, and supporting ideas. So these are some of the different graphic organizers that we can use to present our expository text. Another one is the WH chart. It is called WH chart because it answers or determines the WH questions such as who, what, where, when, how, and why. This one is one of the basic nonlinear texts used in organizing and getting essential information. So what is important in module number 2 is that you remember these two things. Look for important details. So just focus on the important details of the expository text before you transfer them to graphic organizers or non-linear text. Because these graphic organizers or non-linear text, that's our point number 2, helps us organize, arrange, and present information. So kindly answer. This is now the time that you will answer your activities in your English 8 module number 1 and module number 2.